anybody live like that?
We are live.
Do you know it's...
And then, wait. BVRNTCAST.
Thanks, Jake.
Budweiser, because you deserve what everyone else is enjoying regularly.
King of beers, but I'm drinking a Modelo.
Well, that's what Budweiser stands for. Because you deserve what everyone else is enjoying regularly.
We're making a podcast.
We're a podcast. We're a podcast,
Oh, look at this
guys.
crusty old Zin.
That's what that is?
No, that's a stick.
It's petrified.
Dude, that's a stick.
This should be in a museum.
There's no way that's a
The
Zin.
Zen Museum.
Dude, it's a stick.
Oh!
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna... Welcome to the BVRNTCAST. My name is Jacob Knoll, your co-host, and I'm here with...
My name is Zano.
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 Dude, I love that. Are we going to get graphics? All right, so
And Wild Cherry from Philadelphia.
Wild Cherry from Philadelphia.
Sponsored by Zin, Modelo, and Wawa.
And Red Bull.
A Rebel.
We're not sponsored yet, but we hope.
We're trying to...
It gives you wings.
Gives you things.
Should I double decky?
Dude, you absolutely
I'm doubled up
should.
right now.
Double decky.
We're doubled up.
So do we want to do a legit like intro like that? Like, do we want to do
Oh, this is all, we're live. That was all part.
We're doing it.
What
That's
you're
going in.
saying
This
is
is going
part.
in.
This is going in.
Let's do it.
So last week on the BVRNTCAST, my name was Burnt Chrysler, and this is not the BVRNTCAST. And
we just want to say, it's not Burt Cast.
we're not changing it.
It's Burnt Cast.
It's
Why-
BVRNTCAST.
Where does BVRNTCAST come from, though?
We're starting a record label.
We
Started a record label.
And if you're watching this video, it's already launched.
If you're watching this, then you are burnt.
You're so burnt, fool.
You are
Fool, you're
so
fucking
burnt.
Oh, do we say fuck?
Yeah, we say
Yeah.
fuck.
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 Dude, we say
So
fuck.
empowering.
Big horse cock.
Big horse.
We're learning right
Guys,
now. What do we do and
Look,
what do we
guys,
not do?
Gallon of
Where do
jizz
our
on this
hands
podcast.
go?
What do I do with my
don't-
hands?
What do we do with our hands? There he is.
There
No,
it
it's
is.
not that cool.
There it is.
He is. Okay, no, but let's seriously. Let's
Let's make a podcast. Let's talk about here on this podcast. We are figuring out, how do you start a DIY record label? How do you make it in the industry? Do people think we've made it? We don't really feel like
How
that.
do we start a DIY label, Jake?
How do we start a DIY label? We're gonna have guests come on the cast and help us figure out how to do that, and we're gonna teach you, the viewer, all of the secrets of how to.
In real time, as we're learning how to start.
You guys are both over.
Come with
Zins.
us and start.
It's like hitting really hard.
Come with us and start a DIY indie label. Watch us.
Watch us. Howdy, BVRNTCAST. Howdy, Spangler.
Howdy what?
Dude, let's get Howie Spangler on the cast.
Should we just call him right now?
Yeah, give him. Let's call him. Let's call him.
Should we just
Yeah,
get
come
him?
on.
Do you have his number?
No, I do.
So Wild Cherry is our master of whispers. Zano here is Lord Knight Captain of the King's Guard.
Here's the problem: is that I'll call him, he's gonna answer, and then it's gonna be a bum out.
Is it? Oh, dude, the first time I took acid, I remember we just started calling people, and every time we answered, we just felt like we'd opened a can of worms. And we were like too high on acid to be talking to someone on the phone. So,
Yeah, because we're gonna call him, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, hey, dude, what's up?" And I'm gonna be like, "Oh, we're filming our debut episode of the BVRNTCAST."
no,
and
you won't say that. We're just gonna go, "Howdy, Spangler,"
And then we just
Howdy,
hang out.
Spangler. Howdy, Spangler. The Star Spangled Banner.
We shouldn't call him if we're gonna do that.
Oh well. That's probably true.
All right, so what's...
So we are in the loading zone right now.
We're in the loading zone.
We are loading. You are watching your PS1's little fucking icon spin.
I'm just completely spinning right now.
I'm so spinning and
Too
zinning.
many zins in my mouth.
This is a dumb idea.
I feel like not so good right now.
I feel like
Look at him.
not so good, fool.
I'm full. I'm feeling like my
My
bones
mouth feels
are-
weird when I talk.
Let's talk about our fits.
Yeah.
So I just rolled out of bed. And I got my. This is kind of ripping.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's kind of ripping.
That's
so
okay.
That's fine.
I'll burst out of it at some point when it's, narratively significant.
I was gonna say, typically your shirts don't last an entire
No.
evening,
No, yeah,
regardless of what we're doing.
we don't just copy Burt Chrysler's podcast name, shirtlessness is also a big part of our brand.
And alcoholism.
And alcoholism. We support your bad
Yeah.
habits. That's what makes you part of the Sunburnt familia. And come to our shows. Come to No Guest List.
So let's talk about this label a little bit. Let's
go over the label. People, the 5 people watching are going to want to know what this is all about.
This podcast and the label, they're going to go hand in hand with each other. As we build up Sunburnt, which you will know about by the time this drops. It's going to be on the Sunburnt YouTube. It is currently on it while you're watching this. But so let's take them back.
Let's take them back, man.
How did the label start?
Yeah. This is kind of like a fun idea. A big part of what our mission here is on these accounts and channels is you're joining us in our journey of how we're going to start a DIY label and try to not only boost up our projects, but all the projects of our friends' bands in the scene that we see here happening in Southern California and eventually beyond. So the way that dream started is originally what I wanted to do was bring back Skunk Records, my Uncle Miguel's label. But we kind of thought that it would be in the spirit of the way that they started it. You as our official historian, Wild Cherry, why don't you tell us how Skunk Records started from your perspective here?
So I think everybody knows the Skunk Records name's like synonymous with Sublime. That was the big. But how Skunk Records actually came about was Miguel started Skunk Records to put out the first Ziggins album. And when Miguel moved to Southern California and he met Bert and the Ziggins guys first, Miguel was actually like an honorary member of the Ziggins before becoming an honorary member of Sublime. And then when Miguel met your dad and Bud and Eric and they recorded 40 Ounces to Freedom, they were trying to figure out what to do with it. How do you find a label? How do we put this out? And your dad was kind of like, dude, what's up with this Skunk Records thing? And Miguel was like, it's kind of just not really a thing. And then they made it a thing, a real thing that's become a real name.
And I heard the story was, right, trying to get Sublime bookings.
Yeah, I was talking about that too. Yeah.
Right? And they couldn't get booked anywhere, right? Because they were just a couple of kids.
You call and be like, oh, we're Sublime. They're like, whatever. Like, actually, there's a representative from Skunk Records, and one of my artists is coming through town, and then it made him sound like
more legit, right?
Yeah, especially in the 90s in that era. And it's our theory that a lot of the stuff that, people think was so cool about the 90s and early 2000s, it's really still here in a lot of ways. It's just finding those paths of accessing it. So that's sort of why we wanted to just start our own thing with the spirit of Skunk Records, the spirit of SRH, and the spirit of all of our uncles that taught us how to do this and came before us. And it has to be this big collective community thing about bringing people together. And there's so much amazing music and talent and art that's happening in SoCal right now, whether it's not just music, fashion and visual arts as well. So that's sort of what Sunburnt all encapsulates. It's the people who long for those days of the past, but with an eye towards the future. It's sort of mixing it all together.
Yeah. And so basically, our mentor, Kevin Zinger, he started SRH in 1992 or 1991.
Holy
1991.
Shit.
My bad.
Kevin, you're old, dude.
Because I work for SRH as well. And so he started it back in the day, and he was promoting clubs in San Diego. And he was telling us all these old stories about how he had every Tuesday night at this club. They called it Cyclone, and they would do bands, and then they do DJ music after that. And after, a week or two, sure enough, they were sold out, 1,200, tickets every time.
Right.
Line around the block. And it was like a thing where people would go every single week. Are you going to Cyclone? Yeah, of course. I wouldn't miss it. And it became bigger than, just that one show that he was putting on. It was just a reoccurring event that, cycled through bands of the scene and stuff. And they bring bands down from up north and trade with bands that he was friends with. And it was basically all his buddies. Sublime played a bunch of the shows. Long Beach Dub All Stars, Sugar Ray, you name it, a ton of old bands. And so that was getting us fired up about it. And so this summer, Jake and I were like, oh, we should do a show. And I had been doing shows under Surf and Surf Records for a while, but I never really took it that serious. It was just like a little kind of fake label that I had. And so Jake was like, we should do one this summer. Let's just do like an end of summer bash. So then we ended up putting it together, made the flyer on Photoshop, called all our buddy bands, got a bunch of sponsors, and then we spray painted all these banners and set up the show, and ended up being like a pretty good success. We ended up selling it out, and a ton of people on the guest list, and we're like, fuck, that was really fun. We should do more of this.
People had fun too. That was a big thing. Is everyone had a blast. It was so cool.
And we're like, well, if we're gonna keep putting on shows, we should have a name for like a promotion. The promotion company basically, and we should make T-shirts too. And well, hell, we should put all our music out under it too. And well, it sounds like we just need to start a label. Hence, Sunburnt. That's where it came from.
And that's sort of the vibe of Sunburnt Records too. Is it's like, instead of being this shadowy, mysterious thing or just like a passion project from some artists, it's sort of like a shared experience of just like us trying to come up and make this thing real, and it's multi-purpose, multi-genre, it's like putting out our friends' bands and promoting shows and clothing and events and everything else, everything under the sun.
So we want to do the same thing. We want to do reoccurring events. We want to do...
totally.
So we did that first one. It was called Locals Only. The next one's going to be called No Guest List.
No guest list. Be there.
Hence, the name came from the last show when we sold out all the tickets. We just started throwing people on the guest list, and we had this huge list we were writing, and the venue that we're at was just looking at us like they wanted to kill us.
Yeah, they're like, no,
we had like
no more guest lists.
People on the guest list, and it ended up being like a fire code issue and a total joke, So we're
because
like,
we sold 500 tickets, I think it was, and then we had like 200 plus on the list, and we just like packed everybody in this essentially a parking lot.
So
behind
at that point, it's a running joke for us now. So we're like, no guest list. Let's just call the show that. So we want to take it and bring it to San Diego for the first one. I think we're gonna do it at Soma Side Stage, to be announced pretty soon. And
I think it was just announced. And guys, let's just put this out there.
Yeah,
like,
maybe it was just announced.
When
maybe it was.
When you hit us up and say like, "Hey guys, man, hey, so you're doing a show. We really want to come out and support. Can you throw me and my 5 friends on the guest list?" That is not fucking supporting. Let's just be honest here, guys.
Can I support you guys by you hooking me up? Like,
yeah.
And we want to hook up our friend. We want everyone to be there.
But I think,
obviously we're gonna throw some people. But the whole idea of no guest list is just come on in. Come on down, man.
I think you guys have really captured like what that old school feel is. I mean, there's been 2 events. What have the ticket prices been for the 2 events?
$10.
$10.
Yeah. So the real first one was Locals Only that Salter put on. He's our boy. Shout out. He's a Sunburnt artist. And so then when we did our end of summer bash, we're like, let's keep that going. Another Locals Only. And I think Salter's tickets were like 20 something, and then we did like $10 at the door.
$10. We just wanted to pack the place out. I thought we'd do 250 tickets, and sure enough, we sold it out, and we're like, oh my god, like fuck.
We just want a place for the freaks of the freak kingdom in California to be themselves and have a fucking rad time and do horrible shit with their friends.
We got the shows. It's going to be a traveling circus. We want to do it in San Diego. Then we'll pick it up. We'll bring it to Long Beach. We'll do it in Orange County. We'll do it in Santa Barbara. We'll do it in LA, and we'll keep it rotating.
Amen.
And eventually, we'll do it like once a month, maybe even once a week. In every market. That's the goal.
That's really our dream,
just swap out all the bands for now. We'll have our bands play, and then some of our friends' bands. We'll do vintage clothing, all the vendors from the local town, and
that's sort of
a rad amalgamation of all these cool things.
Oh, yeah. And the idea behind that, doing this with the social media and the BVRNTCAST here, is you guys can sort of like follow along with our progress and be a part of it. We want to hear what you guys have to say and take fan calls and messages and have fun with our guests. And the idea is that every week we'll have a different guest since, from getting to do Sublime stuff and working with Kevin Zinger and Miguel and our uncles and stuff like that, there's a lot of folks who'd be interested in sharing their story about how they came up in those early days of alternative California music. So we'll be curious to pick their brains, see what they did, and learn together.
Which I think is really one of the coolest things, because as Sunburnt is coming up off the ground, this podcast's coming up off the ground, so all of you guys will be able to kind of grow along with Sunburnt. Like, hey, this show's coming up. This band's going to be debuting this music, and we'll all be going through all of this together, which makes it pretty rad.
And if you guys want to leave some comments about questions for the next one, we have our first guest picked out for the next episode already. But just general questions.
That's a good idea.
Drop them in the comments, and we'll go through and read them and answer them.
His name's Kevin Zinger, the head of SRH and Regine, its founder. So if you have any questions for a very successful indie clothing company, record label, and management/agency owner, Kevin's really the real deal, and he's done it all. So if you're out there an aspiring musician or member of the music industry, come up with some questions and put them on down below. And next time on BVRNTCAST, they might just be answered.
Yep, and OG Club Promoter.
OG Club, there we go. Yeah, promotion too.
OG Club Promoter. He's
what's he doing today? What's he doing today? It's Regime Music Group, managing Sublime.
Jacob's Castle, Amigo.
Yep.
Amigo the Devil.
Yeah.
He did Saving Banksy. He was a part of that.
Yeah, he produces films and stuff. It's gonna
He
be
can do a
good one.
Rubik's Cube in under 2 minutes.
We
Good
love
guy to
Kevin.
ask questions. We love Kevin.
We love Kev, dude.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
Attaboy.
Have some attaboys.
Yeah.
Attaboys.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
boys.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah,
We love
boys.
him. Okay, well, that's a great segue. We've been in the loading zone for a little bit. Let's move on to our next segment, ladies and gentlemen, where we talk about the news in our scene here in Southern California. This is Stoke or Bum Out, where we go over things and talk about whether or not they make us stoked or bummed out.
Okay, well, tour. We just got off a tour with Little Stranger.
Stoke.
It's Big Stoke.
Big
Shout out to
time
Little
Stoke.
Stranger. That was the funnest run ever.
Oh, it was awesome, man.
It was killer. And it's really rad to see Jacob's Castle starting to come into its own. I've been playing, I've been the touring guitarist for the Castle for 6 months now, and just over the last 6 months, it's just been like,
Oh, man.
to the moon. So,
Dude, that's the coolest part about being part of just like a little emerging scene is my band, all of our bands take like, you know, direction and DNA from one another and stuff. We're basically just like shooting our DNA all over each other in those
Yeah.
writing sessions and whatnot. And a big part of that was Strange Case and stuff. And when my old band Law had ended, I still had some shows in the books. And it'll be good to have this story immortalized. I'm sure I've told it a million times. But I came here to Regime for the first time to talk about putting out the last Law record. So that's where I'd met Kevin Zinger before growing up and stuff. But this is our first like sit-down business conversation. He agreed to put out the record. He was stoked, super supportive. And I told him, I'm like, hey, do you know any guitar players? Because I really trying to put a band together to play these shows that I had booked with Law. I got one in Colorado. It's kind of a big booking at Fiddler's on the Green, a little thing they do there every year. I guess, you know. Who's opening up for Stick Figure, Slightly Stupid, and 311. We were like, whoa, this is going to be dope. I asked Kevin, do you know any guitar players? And he's like, dang, well, my kid, fucking Zane, he plays guitar. Check out his band, Strange Case. And I'll never forget, he showed me your guys' Jam in the Van.
oh yeah.
And I had heard it before because I follow Jam in the Van. I would just like to see whatever local
Yeah.
musicians were playing. And it was 27 Club. And I remember being like that feeling of like admiration and jealousy and just being stoked. Like you were like, oh my God, this is so rad. And I'm like, would he be down to play? And he'd be like, yeah, go ask him. I'm like, how? And he's like, he works right down the street at Val Surf. Shout out Val Surf. And I walked in there, and do you remember when I walked in and I came up to you?
Yeah. You literally came in, and I was sitting at the front counter, folding shirts or something, or talking to some fucking Barneys. And Jake comes in. He's like, "Hey, I'm Jacob." And what's up, Jacob? How are you? Nice to meet you. He's like, so I need a guitarist. We got this show coming up, and he pitched the show to me. I was like, oh fuck, that sounds sick. And he's like, can I pay you a couple $100? Are you down? I was like, I'm gonna get paid. I was like, oh yeah. I was
you'll
like,
pay me?
sick. Peace out, Val Surf. Sorry, but and when is it? 5 days.
Yeah, we leave like this weekend. Like, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
All right. So I went home and just started learning all the songs, and then we got in the van.
It was like some Lost songs, some covers, some unreleased Jacob's Castle. And I had just came up with the name like a couple days before. And then you hopped in the van. And that was the first time I told anybody the name. And I was like, I want to call it Jacob's Castle. And you were the first person to be like, dude, that's a rad name. It sounds like an indie band or something. Fucking call it that.
Yeah, and then we hopped in the van, set sail.
Set sail.
Stayed at this grimy little motel in Grand Junction,
We did stay at the Motel 6 in Grand Junction.
which is where we wrote Motel Radio.
That was like the first Castle song in a lot of ways. Because we like
Yeah.
wrote that together in that fucking motel, having a weird supernatural experience if you are prone to believe such things.
And then we went to San Francisco after, and then we played a bunch of old reggae dub songs, and I think that was the first time you ever played Sublime with a band too, right?
That was,
Yeah,
dude.
a weird-
Fuck, that's crazy.
Because that was in 2021 or 2022.
Yeah, because we needed to fill time at the San Francisco, the Golden Gate Park show, and there's still some cool footage of that. And a lot of that's like how I started the band. Shortly after that, I started working with John Joseph. Shout out to the Harbor Martyr Studio in San Pedro.
Shout out John Joseph.
And years later, here we are, like really creating the fucking like what. Even though I have a record out now, Enter the Castle, I think the band is now finally becoming like the dream vision of the band. Because playing with Little Stranger, seeing their mix of genres, and then by the end of that run, we had some headlining shows in Florida at our buddy Tony's Kava bars. Shout out Island Root Kava. And we just played tracks off, full band, but me on the acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like Pixies, Nirvana, MTV Unplugged. It felt like fucking Violent Femmes, a little bit of Beck stuff, because our bass player Fresh, he still uses like a keyboard for certain electronic effects, and I was like, oh my god, this is the sound we need to be chasing.
It was a really cool blend of like,
Yeah.
it was fun. It felt like we definitely figured out a lot of
and we were,
sonic things that
we were like writing new tracks every night too. Like we were just in the van, in the motels, just like those are
Yeah.
the places where we get inspired the most to write on the pirate ship on
and
tour.
it was
like
cool
that.
because we were doing these pop-up little things. We had this show in Kentucky,
Dude,
and they
yes.
said we couldn't sell merch. We're like, all right, what the fuck? So then we're like, all right, you know what? On the mic while we were playing, fuck it, we're gonna sell merch out of the van. We're gonna pull the van right out front, and when Little Stranger's done, we're gonna sit on the roof and play a bunch of acoustic songs, gather around, come party, official after party.
It was so
and
rad. The
we're gonna-
Sunburn after party.
the very first official Sunburn.
Yeah, anybody
after
who was
party.
there at that tour who's in the parking lot, man.
Yeah.
We just turned on all the crazy LED lights in the van and sat up on the fucking roof and grabbed our acoustic guitars and played songs and sold merch and did some writing and just hung out with people in a parking lot.
Yeah, we're like, we're not leaving until we sell enough merch
To get to the next
to get to the next show. And then we made it to the next town, and I think it was Nashville, and then we set up in the parking lot and did the same thing but even bigger. Mm-hmm. And it was rad. It was really fun.
And D-Rock was there.
D-Rock was there. Also, shout out D-Rock.
He certainly was.
Yes, he was.
Dude, that's so cool, man.
So
Yeah.
that was a fun tour.
That's Stoke of the Week.
Yeah, that
Stoke
was
of the
Stoke
Week.
of the Week right there.
Thank you to everybody
Now-
for coming out and supporting on our fall run. We appreciate you.
So, Stoke of the Week, Bum Out of the Week, reoccurring segment.
Reoccurring segment.
And also,
Reoccurring segment.
if you guys have somebody that you would like to nominate for Bum Out of the Week, you reach out to us through the social medias. And I think we have some emails set up through Sunburnt already,
We
Zane?
do. We have Sunburnt at, or what is it? info@sunburnt.com.
Jake, you're going to be able to put that like right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
People
going to
will
be
able
right where he's pointing.
Info@sunburnt.com.
Sunburnt.com.
DM us who bummed you out this week.
Who bummed you out?
And we'll fucking clown on them next week.
There's got to be. I'm trying to think how bummed out I was at some point. Sublime just did SEMA. That wasn't a bum out. That was cool.
I met the elephant.
The Seaman
The
Fest.
Elephant. Okay, here's a bum out of the week. We met Cage the Elephant dudes. We played with them in Sublime. Zane's our guitar tech. And they didn't have any live animal, no elephants in any cages
Well, the
during
whole
their
time
set.
we
And we're
pulled
thinking
up,
that,
where are they going to put the elephant?
where are they going to put him? God, what a bum out.
And so we flew in the night before the show, and did they bring in the elephant the night before?
Yeah, and how are you going to
Or
fit
did
it on
they-
the plane?
or day of, and it was cold.
It was
And as
cold.
far
Too
as I
cold
know,
for an elephant.
Elephants don't usually live in cold environments.
No, not since the days of woolly mammoths of old.
Yeah, and so unless it's like an insulated cage, I mean, we were just fucking racking our brains like, where is it?
Where's the elephant? We want the elephant.
Where are they keeping it? And I met the singer, and I didn't ask him about the elephant.
And what's his name?
Matt.
Are you sure?
No, yeah, why?
Bum out of the week.
Was he a bum out?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, absolutely not.
I took a photo with him. So I was probably
That was
his
not-
bum out.
that-
I was probably
Oh,
his
so
bum
dude,
out
that's
of the
nice
week.
of you, man. You took
We're
time-
the bum outs of
Yeah.
the week.
Yeah, we're the bum out. Oh, secret. I'm glad we got to the bottom of it.
We're the bum outs of the week. Well, I mean, we did come across some bum outs. We came across some bum outs outside of our hotel at 6:00. Jake came across.
There we go. Bum out of the week.
There
Yeah,
it
outside
is.
our hotel. It's just par for the course when you're in Las Vegas. I guess you're gonna bump into some old fellers who've been drinking a little bit too much. We almost got into a fist fight out in front of the hotel, and yeah, I guess that was a bum out.
Yeah,
It
it's
also kind of rad though.
See,
happened?
that's the thing. It's also
Wow.
a little rad, and I'll tell you, it's weird. Like we have this so at one time on tour in Florida, I found myself in
doing
a.
it?
Jesus died for your sins.
Oh shit! Did that get on camera?
Sitting there like, why do I not feel good? Oh, I have two zins in it.
I feel worse than taking mine out. I'm
I
trying to
feel-
get it right on the camera
I
lens.
feel all fucked up and puppety right now.
Dude, you can't be
fucked
all
up and puppety.
You can't be all puppety, Zane.
I'm like waiting for either
Look
the
at him.
Red Bull or the Modelo to make me feel better.
Look
Chug
at him.
both.
You don't look so good.
You want us to
feel
both
so good.
pour one pour Modelo, one pour Red Bull into your mouth?
Zeno looks like when a cartoon gets sick and they start to turn green. And they just...
Dude, I did get sick on the last, right when we got into Florida. Like, we had a few Jacob's Castle shows left, but we had the Sublime show in Florida, and we got there, and it's like, what was the festival called?
Halloween, yeah, we just did that.
So if you don't know, Halloween is like a big jam bandy festival.
It's like the String Cheese Incidents
in the
Festival.
Swamp in Florida, and I'd never been to Florida.
Oh yeah, it was his first time in Florida.
Fuck Florida, man.
No, we love Florida. We love Florida.
Yeah. Well,
all right, fuck it.
yeah. Anyway,
I mean,
we love every state. Please come to our shows.
Well, I think
listeners.
I think what we mean to say is that we love the people from Florida.
We love our listeners.
Every time we do a show in Florida,
we love our fans.
The people are great. However, the surroundings haven't always been the best to us, and maybe aren't best suited for our style.
it was just because
of
I got
living.
sick. You know, that's it. Bad first impression.
You got some sort of swamp sickness.
Yeah, and so we go in there, and I'm nauseous as fuck, and we're on the back of this golf cart, and I'm on the back of this. We're about to do the whole Sublime thing, and it's my first time guitar teching for Sublime, so I'm all nervous not to fuck anything up or not tune Jake's guitar right. And then, and I'm just like, feel like I'm gonna throw up, and we walked through this mystical forest, and we have all these lights.
Don't skip the best part.
What was the best part?
Getting a bag of weed from Sexual Manatee.
That dude, we walked in there, and I thought I was gonna throw up.
Yeah, Hillary had a friend named. You guys don't know any of these people, but
if you do know Sexual Manatee, your life is better than. I mean,
Sexual Manatee was pretty rad.
what a fucking guy.
He goes by that too. He
Yeah,
introduced
he-
himself as sex. Yeah, I'm sex.
So
Nice
we
to meet
stopped
you.
by his like
Lair.
swamp lair,
Swamp Lair.
and I'm just like on the verge of throwing the fuck up. And we walk in there, and it's such an overwhelming place to be. Sexual
Yeah.
Manatee's den, and we got some weed from him, and and then we walked through this forest with just like
Shout out Sexual Manatee.
shout out Sexual Manatee, and it was very interesting.
It was.
But then I got back to the hotel at like 4 a.m. and I was like shaking, and I just laid in the shower, and I just like I laid there for like an hour and a half staring at the wall, like 5 a.m. And then then that was the whole leg of the Florida run. I was just deathly ill.
That's the thing about
So that was my
tour.
bum out of the week.
Yeah, tour can drain you, and we're gnarly pirates, but we are also mortals.
We were going to bed at 5 or 6 a.m. on
We were seeing the blue light
every night, just because.
We like to stay up to the blue light because you're so stimmed out on tour.
Jarrett would text us, and Jake and I would always be in a hotel
Every
room
time you
just
text us, we'd look at
writing songs or doing rap songs or just stimming out, watching South Park,
Jumping
whatever.
on beds,
Jumping
running
on the
through
bed.
hallways.
Sometimes we waterboard each other for fun.
And Jarrett would just text us, "Go to sleep," not knowing if we were awake or not. We were always awake.
Oh,
It
I
was the
knew.
funniest
That's-
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew.
I was just get a text.
I just
Go
didn't
to
know.
bed.
Yeah, go to bed. And we never listened, and it eventually caught up to us. So bum out of the week, but listen to Jarrett.
Next segment. And then there's a transition. Usually the segment is called Say Less.
Say less, say less.
Say less. So now you're trying to impress. I guess I'm looking at her breast. I know. We bring out the guest. And that's saying less. Bring out the guest.
Bring out the guest.
Oh, it's no one. We don't have a guest this week. Fuck you. Split, dude.
No guest list.
But usually the guest is going to give us history of their rise to power and accession, and then they'll give us tips and secrets. But because they're not doing that this week, we're going to go straight to Tales from the Tour Bus,
Bum, bum, bum.
which we've sort of already been doing. So that was a great tale from the tour
What's
bus.
your favorite tale from this last tour?
Wow, favorite tale from the last.
I know one that I
tour.
really shouldn't tell.
Yeah, gosh, I mean,
The
there's.
I can see spirits
there,
chick.
oh God, I can see spirits.
Summer,
I mean-
that's bum out of the year,
Oh my
dude.
God, bum out of the
I don't know
year.
if that was bum out of the year because the last
Should I
tour.
how can I tell that one? I don't think I
Honestly-
could.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if it didn't really happen, like, imagine if it was just like you had this bad dream.
It's like a bad dream.
Imagine you had like a bad dream.
Yeah, the artistic works of friction.
Right, because it didn't really.
Fiction.
It didn't really happen. But
No, that should have been the name of a segment. We talk about our dreams. We call it Nocturnal Emotions.
Nocturnal emotion.
The dreams.
Could you give us a quick synopsis?
Okay, so there are folks out there who feel very spiritually connected to things and art that moves them, which who doesn't relate to that? And there are certain folks out there who, you know, are sort of modern day mystics, we'll say. And hey, you're kicking it with the Sunburnt cult here, guys. Like, we love the trippy, the weird, the extra normal, and the paro real. But, you know, I think some folks back in the day, they would have been the shamans, you know, sitting in a tent, you know, being administered drugs so their schizophrenic visions could boost the tribe, so to speak. However, nowadays, with our buildings and our escalators and our 10 items or less lines, these shamans really have no place, you know, so their visions sort of go scattered and they seem sort of like a bum out. And one such shamanistic lady, I'm trying to be super nice, that I had met, and this has happened to me a lot of times, it sucks, but they feel spiritually connected to my father and his music, which, awesome, more power to you. That's great, dude. I feel so lucky and honored to get to be a part of that experience for people. But sometimes they feel like it goes a step further and they maybe get like spiritual visions or something like that. So let's just say that there was a moment when I was getting romantically involved with a beautiful lady, and she sensually whispers in my ear. She goes, "I can see spirits, and your father's spirit is in the room with us right now." As we are like physically, almost
one way to do it.
Almost physically involved, like we're very like almost. And as soon as she said that, I was like, I stood up, started, you know, getting ready, and she said, "Where are you going? What's going on?" "I'm gonna split."
Got to split.
And she's like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "Pittsburgh."
Right. So that is...
we drove through the night to Pittsburgh that night, and then we wrote "Gonna Drink."
Well, I think if we're gonna talk tour stories,
we'll see if that makes it in the episode. I think that was pretty.
I think that makes it in
that
the episode.
That was pretty PG-13, you know.
I think if we're gonna talk Tales from the Tour Bus, it would only make sense to talk about how our tour kicked off. So we started off this run at home in San Diego. So we start off at home in San Diego, and we play with Mickey Avalon. And then what has to happen is Jake and Zane are going to be performing an acoustic set for a radio station in Houston the next day. So they have to get on a plane and fly to Houston. Well, myself and our drummer, shout out to Jordy,
D'Artagnan,
Jay Stark drums. We are going to drive to Texas, and we are going to meet up with the boys. They're going to play a show. We're driving. We're going to meet up, and then we're going to go to our tour. And through Texas, we entered through one of those, illegal roadblocks where they just kind of put a big toll booth up and say they're going to do an inspection. And wouldn't you know that they wanted to pull over our tour van? You know, the one that had the giant reefers by Sublime down the side of it, homegrown in Long Beach, California.
It looks like a weed van.
Yeah, so they decided they wanted to take a closer look. And of course they asked, is there anything inside the van? And of course, absolutely there is not. They wanted to take a closer look. They said the dog disagreed.
Dog, he disagreed.
Yeah, so after they found my weed, Jordy's weed, the case of weed drinks that we actually forgot that we even had in there, stuffed under one of the seats, some bowls, and some other things, they did indeed place us under arrest, and after making us sweat it out, they decided to just kind of, it was what they call a catch and release. They caught us, they stole all our weed, and then they released us, and we left. So
Day two
of even driving. Like, we'd only just played the first San Diego show on the run.
Thanks a lot, El Paso.
Yeah, and it was, you know, it was a scary situation. It was scary for myself. It was scary for Jordy. But we did get away, and I did reach out to Jake. Obviously, being the boss, you got to let him know immediately. Jake got on the phone, and I just kind of told him, said, "Hey, listen, here's what happened. They did stop us. We're okay. Neither of us went to jail. The van did not get towed. We're on our way. We're going to make the shows on time. I just need to know who I'm invoicing for this ounce of weed they took from me.
Kevin Zinger.
Yeah, because in all fairness, I'm going to need that back.
Has Kevin Zinger given you the O back yet, or no?
Well, yeah, I've been recompensated.
Yeah, he smoked you out.
Yeah, I pay full price for all my Sublime merch anyway, so...
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a great, like, here's a little insider thing about people. It'll be like, you know, you post your tour dates, and people will be like, why do you hate blank? Why do you hate this place? Why do you never go here? One, musicians don't choose the own places where they go to. You have an agent to do, you know, I mean, you can suggest, like, hey, I really want to hit these markets, but there are so many factors where you're like, well, if we play here, then we can't reasonably play this place because there's all this and that. That's one. Number two is, if you have a state that is going to shake down my tour manager for less than an ounce of weed, we kind of don't really want to play there super often.
And if you notice, a lot of the bands from the reggae scene and even the rap scene, they all seem to skip Texas as much as they can.
It's just hard, man. It's just difficult.
Well, what happened in North Carolina?
North Carolina, same thing. We had some undercover cops come walk through, and
we are on stage about to go on. The intro track is playing. You hear the... We're about to go in playing with fire. It's going to be awesome. It's super epic. First show of the tour. I look to Zane. He's ready. Jordy's hitting the drums, and I look behind me, and there's no bass player. There's no Freshie. What's going on with Freshie? What was happening with Freshie is he's sitting out back, smoking a joint, little pre-show routine like he usually does. Freshie needs to be locked into the rhythm. And a couple undercovers come up and shake him down for his weed.
Yeah, and then they start going through the entire back room and into the green room.
Just marijuana Nazis. It was horrible.
It's so weird,
and they might have just been faking it. I still think it was just two dudes trying to get theirs.
And I gotta tell you, the cops in Texas, and they weren't cops; they were border patrol or whatever.
They weren't even looking for weed.
They were so stoked, and as they're dancing around, celebrating and high fiving, I'm thinking to myself, I paid taxes for that weed. I bought that with my debit card. I have a fucking receipt. You did not take drug lords off the street here.
Yeah.
That cost me $53 at my local dispensary.
Shout out the Circle in Long Beach.
Yeah,
I don't know, wherever you got it.
Yeah. Catalyst.
Catalyst.
Yeah, you guys totally but they were so stoked on that. So to me, that was probably the tale from the tour bus as far as I go, or at least the tale from the tour bus that you guys are all going to hear about.
Yeah. It was a fun tour, and we have just so many endless. I think for me, one of my favorite things about this business and getting to be a part of this industry is traveling like that. It's totally the juice for me. I love every aspect of it. I love sleepless nights and not knowing where you're going to end up and the chaos of it and meeting new folks all the time and just getting to experience the world in that way. And I hope it lasts for as long as it does.
And there's definitely something to be said about who you get out there and travel with. And you guys are going to learn that the three of us spend an exuberant amount of time together in all sorts of different ways.
Sexually,
yeah. Well, obviously we shower together to save water.
Spiritually,
save water.
Saving water.
Jake and Zane have partnered up and started Sunburnt. I am Jake's tour manager for Jacob's Castle, where Zane is also the lead guitar player. I am Jake's personal tour manager when we're on the road with Sublime, where Zane is also Jake's guitar tech. So
it's a holistic environment, man. The whole Sunburnt kingdom, the whole freak kingdom is all this one big thing that needs people. So you guys watching this really means a lot to us if you're listening this far in and you're catching all this. And the crew that we have here together is like the dream team. It's taken me forever to really find people that I dig being around. So
yeah, and it all came from touring.
It's hard.
And that's what
comes from tour.
This all came from touring, and that's how Jake and I started. Was
Fayuca tour? Shout out Gabo.
Yeah, I manage a band, Fayuca, out of Phoenix, Arizona, and I also worked for the nonprofit, the Knoll Family Foundation, Bradley's
Shout out
House.
the foundation.
KnollFamilyFoundation.org, which we'll be talking more about throughout these episodes for sure.
Yeah, please go support.
And we were on tour with Fayuca, and I said, hey, I'm going to ask Jake if he wants to come out and play some shows, and just, I know he's not doing anything right now. He doesn't have anything lined up. Let's bring him out. And so we were able to do it, and we spent a month ripping through Florida, and fuck, we had such a blast. And Jake was like, hey man, when my band goes on tour, I want you to come out with me and do that. And
well, after a successful Santa Barbara trial, which we don't even get into here.
The Santa Barbara trial, yes, absolutely. And that was kind of how it all went. And so it was like we were on the road, and then Zane started touring, and then we're like, hey, we should do a podcast and kind of talk about this whole journey, because outside of obviously Sunburnt being built, there's so much to talk about with Jacob's Castle growing, and then that little thing that you're doing on the side too, Sublime, so there's going to be plenty of stories coming down the pipe from all of us, because we all get to see it in such a different light, right? Like you're up on the front of the stage as the front man, and Zano and I are behind the scenes seeing so much, and it's just, I think there's going to be some cool stories, and it's going to be a lot of learning for the people that are out there, that if you're in a band or looking to break into the music scene, there's going to be a lot of cool advice and stories that I think will help you in your journey.
Actually, that's a good point. I do want to take this time to talk about that. Let's say if you're anybody out there who's watching who maybe has never been on tour, or is starting a band, or just desperately wanting to either be a tour manager or a roadie or anything in this industry. I remember before I had ever done this, I had just dreamed so much of getting to be on the road and getting to be on tour. It was this beautiful, beautiful dream. And I just want to tell you that the dream is real. Like everything I wanted from it, it is 100% attainable. There was no disillusionment. I mean, it is real work. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of that work is just being exhausted. It's physical, it's blue collar in a lot of ways. So I just want to let you know that it's out there for you. And if you got the stomach for it and you're a little bit crazy and insane, which you have to be watching this, it's coming. It's coming for you. And we want to help you get there. So check out our podcast and buy our merchandise, and you will learn the secrets.
Oh.
Next segment. This segment is called the Sunburnt Potion Castle. A shout out to the infamous Coloradoian Longmont Potion Castle, who's an amazing prank caller, where we take, and create prank calls to either people that we know or suggestions from the audience, all within good fun. But, what's better than being...
This isn't going to be like the time Zane called me and told me my parents were dead.
Well, one of your parents is dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
Well, let's call someone.
Let's do it.
Let's call
Let's
someone.
do it.
Who are you calling?
Ethan Salter.
Yes. All right, what's the angle?
All right. So what's fun about our podcast prank calls is that, our format is if you haven't heard of Longmont Potion Castle, please go check him out. You always got to give credit where credit is due. But a lot of his bits are just these classic, Jerky Boys as well. But I think that something about the absurdity, weird stuff. Longmont Potion Castle is one of my heroes. Cannot talk about him enough. But our angle is that we want to call other people sort of in the scene or adjacent to the scene in music in some way. And because we know a little bit about them, we can kind of get them on the hook for a little bit longer. So maybe Ethan has won something. What has Ethan won? He's going to recognize all our voices, so we got him for 2 seconds.
Maybe. Well, here,
Sweetwater gift card.
Well, the other thing too is we could totally just be ourselves and approach him with something outrageous.
Okay.
Still a prank.
It's still a prank.
Still a call.
Like, hey, dude, we got this gig lined up, but we're doing a gig. We're called Winnie and the Poohs. We're actually going to all just wear shirts and no pants through the whole gig.
Maybe we call him and see if we can get him to agree to a pay-to-play event.
Well, he will agree to that, though.
We don't know that. Let's test his...
Dude, what about Fleetwood Mac? We want to do a Fleetwood Mac. We got to see if he can hit the Stevie Nicks notes. Get him to sing like a...
We got a guarantee at the Canyon Club.
Would
he... Whiskey A Go-Go.
Would he be willing to do a strip while singing? We got a gig lined up for him. It pays good, but it's a little untraditional. It is a female bachelorette party, so they do want you to perform your music, but they're going to want a little more, too. Are you willing to get down to a banana hammock? Dude, I know this sounds crazy.
Okay, wait. What is one of the bands that played on his Locals Only? What were they called? 20K Rio?
Billy and the Bumouts.
No.
Oh, no.
Was it 20K Rio?
I don't remember.
Let's pretend like it is. I'll pretend to be their tour manager and say that he owes them money.
Okay, this is good.
But like $120.
Is he gonna recognize your voice?
He's gonna recognize you. He won't recognize Zano's.
No, I'm gonna try. You want to do it?
I think he's gonna recognize your voice.
I was gonna kind of talk like this.
I still recognize it.
Guys, this couldn't possibly be Jacob.
Never mind, you nailed it. You got it.
Hi, Ethan. Yeah, no, this is the. It sounds like a people.
Yeah, I think you guys are too close.
Okay, you do it.
Okay, so
try that angle.
What's the angle?
You're 20K Rio's tour manager, and
wait, do we know for sure that they were on this show?
What's that?
Do we know for sure that band was on the show?
Yeah, for sure. They called 20K Rio. Shout out, go check them out. Great musicians. You're their tour manager, and Ethan owes them a deficit of $120, and he's got to give it to him.
Yeah, I'm going over the books to finish up the quarter, and I see that we're owed $120 from this locals only show.
Hey, is this Ethan Salter?
Yes, hello, who's this?
Hey, this is John Scott. I'm actually the manager for 20K Rio.
Oh, how's it going?
Good. Hey, man, so sorry for the late call. I just had a meeting with a band. We kind of do it every Sunday, first Sunday of every month. And we were going through the books and looking over. I see they played a show called Locals Only in Long Beach with you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so we're just going over the books, and it looks like there is a deficit from the guarantee. It seems like there is still some money owed. It looks like right here, $120 from that gig. I was just wondering if they were paid out in full, or if you're still aware.
They're beautiful. I mailed the check to Tommy, so. It's I can try to find the information for that tomorrow. But technically, so the deal actually was that they needed to sell a certain number of tickets, which was 25 tickets, and they didn't hit the minimum. But I still paid them anyways for what they sold.
Oh, got it.
So
you had a pre-sale agreement. Was that a written agreement or just a verbal agreement?
Yeah, there's a written agreement. I could try to find it. It's through our email chain that I had with Tommy, I believe.
Okay, so it's 25 tickets at $25 a piece?
I think it's $22.
22.
Yeah.
Right. And so to your knowledge, they were short a few tickets. Do you have the exact number?
Yes. I do not have the exact number on me right now at the moment, no, but that's something I could try to find.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I do remember also paying them just because I wanted to pay everyone who's involved. So, yeah.
Okay, and you said the check was mailed to Tommy?
Yeah.
Okay, because we haven't been able to reach him in a minute. When was the last time you spoke to him?
I have not spoken to him in months. Tommy's a singer, right?
Yeah.
Am I being pranked?
You're on the 20K Rio podcast.
You're on the 20K Rio podcast.
We love you, Ethan. Just
love
kidding.
you, Ethan.
You're on Burntcast.
You're on Burntcast episode 1. You're our first prank call.
You're our first prank call. Now you got to send us a number, and we will call them next.
Yeah.
God, I literally feel like a dick right now.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We won't include it if you hate it. We won't include it.
No.
It's a segment.
Sorry, I just wasn't
It's
random getting a freaking phone call at like 11 o'clock at night talking about business stuff, and I'm like, what? I haven't thought about this in months.
You're like, what? It's fucking clown punch hour. Why am I getting this phone call?
Say Tony's dead.
Yeah.
So what I told Zano to say was Tommy was dead.
I couldn't, bro. I don't know who that is.
But then you were like, well, isn't Tommy the singer?
I just died. I couldn't hold it.
Who's Tommy?
I'm so tripped out.
We're sorry for doing it. We're sorry.
Have a good night, Slop.
If you have anybody you want us to call and get back, let us know.
Is this like an actual podcast thing?
Yeah, you're currently
You're on a
podcast.
segment. This is
Yeah.
Sunburnt Potion Castle on the Burntcast.
Isn't Tommy the singer?
If you have anything you want to promote, now's the time to do it.
Well, my name's Ethan Salter, and I got a new song coming out on the 20th, so that'll be cool.
So check it out.
You heard that here first, folks. Salter has a new track coming out on the 20th. We're not sure when this cast is dropping, but if it is, what's the name of the track?
It's all yours.
It is called All Yours by Salter. Go check it out, streaming on Spotify and Apple Music. We love you, Salty. Thank you, brother.
Love you, Salty.
Of course. I'll talk to you guys.
Bye.
Later.
Say it back. So, Jared, I need you to stop sitting like that. If we're going to be doing, years of this podcast, Jared, for the viewers, Jared has the biggest balls that have ever been fucking strapped to.
They're massive.
Honestly,
And
I
he's
was gonna say something.
strapped to a
like,
human.
You were doing the.
Can you see it?
I can't even cross my legs the way you can cross your legs. My legs don't. I can't get them down like that.
This guy's fucking balls are.
Dan Balzerian.
Wait until
Oh,
summertime and they're just flapped out of the bottom.
I
of
mean,
the
how
shorts.
am I supposed to focus when you got just a fucking rack of nuts?
How do you?
Rack of nuts.
just staring at
How
me?
do you know how big my balls are?
You pull them out during certain photo opportunities.
I have had them out.
Yeah, there is one photo with the entire Sublime crew,
Yep.
and if you zoom in, Jarrett and his balls are out.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. You know what that means? It means I know how to follow directions.
Yeah.
Do you guys have another musician?
I know tons of musicians.
Who should I do? I want to do one.
All right.
Because then if Ethan hates that one, we don't have to include it.
Well, he kind of shit all over the band. He's like, well, they couldn't even sell 25 fucking tickets.
That's kind of funny, though.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Go stream their music. We love that band.
We love that band.
This podcast is it's controversial.
All right, that's enough of the phone call thing. We'll get back to that next episode. What?
You're right.
I don't know. Fuck.
It's not nice.
We'll come back to it. We had a bad one.
it's really great.
We were doing prank calls the other day. And
We can include some of those.
Who did we call? Oh,
We called your sister, told her that you were buying exotic birds illegally through the internet.
dude, she believed it. She was on the verge of tears. And then my older sister, who's older and wiser, came on and was like, excuse me, who's this? Where are you from? What is your address? And she was super wise to it. And
It does seem mean-spirited.
we bummed him out.
Okay, here's the deal. Prank phone calls are actually not mean-spirited. They're incredibly hilarious. For some reason, we're always doing them at fucking midnight, though. Makes it a lot less funny.
That's because that's when we start, getting.
We're
creative.
night owls.
I'm
Right.
just now waking up.
Me too.
We're hitting the groove.
Yeah.
We gotta call someone.
You want to call someone? I got some musicians.
Just give me a number. I
Okay.
want to freestyle.
I got some musicians. Boy, do I got some musicians. How about Aaron from Strange
Aaron,
Days?
give me his number,
Didn't we already do him?
Nope.
and we'll bleep out the number. You can just say it, or I'll just look at it. Okay, 714
That's a pretty
769
pretty easy number.
8989.
What's your angle? You're a vinyl collector. He collects vinyl.
Beautiful.
And yeah. He collects vinyl, he sells it.
Look, first you're buying vinyl. Something rare. But then it's not rare at all. Green Day Dookie. I like rare vinyl. Do you have Green Day Dookie?
2015 press.
Yeah. Anything by 21 Pilots.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
I'm looking for pre-clone Avril Lavigne.
I know another kid who collects vinyl.
Do you really? You
Yeah,
want to try this number
It's
again?
Aaron's best friend.
It's Aaron's best friend.
He's also a drummer,
Is he a night owl?
and he's a night owl.
I feel so bad about Ethan.
He's a real gnarly vinyl collector. He does this for a living.
Ethan was like, I feel like a dick.
Dude, you know what a good segment
That
might
sucks.
be? Calling having Jake call radio stations and requesting Sublime songs. And
Dude,
hearing what the DJs say.
The dudes from Tool do that, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, and then if we tell them...
I'm sorry. You can't leave a message because the person you called has a voicemail box.
Those are the weirdest, creepy-
You can't leave a message.
Oh, gee whiz.
Aw, cocksuck. You just can't do it.
Okay, I got one.
Yeah.
The owner of Val Surf, Blake.
Why isn't the owner of Val Surf named Val?
Oh, this is Val's son.
Oh, here we go. This is Val Jr.
He's got a family. He's got kids. He's probably...
I could recall these ones.
It's
Maybe they'll answer
midnight.
second time.
Go ahead.
Is this mean-spirited?
At midnight, it's a little dicky, but... Sunday night, midnight, by the way.
Hello?
Hello, this is Garbanzo from Vinyl Junkies. We're just contacting you about your shipment. I'm trying to get a hold of you all day.
Who's Vinyl Junkies?
Or the website that you ordered your parcel from, sir?
The Grateful Dead?
That's correct.
Okay. What's up?
Well, our driver's been out front all day trying to get a hold of you. You see, I'm the only guy down on the dock right now. And we just need you to be present and accountable for your parcel.
I need to be at the house to get the package?
That's correct, sir. And we are going to need a COD $85.28.
Okay, yeah, this sounds like a scam.
Well, sir, I'm just going to need that credit card number.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Sir, who's the national supervisor, you or me?
I used a gift card, bro.
Sir, who's the national supervisor, you or me?
What?
True or false? You're full of excuses.
Is this AI? Sounds like AI response.
Oh, that's the most cockamamie thing I've ever heard.
This is hilarious. It's like 11:30.
Listen, sir, the Grateful Dead have played for many years. This album has LSD in the casing. Look, I had a lick. I had one lick. But the rest of it's probably still good.
Dude, who is this? I've got to know this.
This is Garbanzo.
Breaks me right now.
This is Garbanzo from Vinyl Junkie, sir, and we're going to need a COD delivery to the tune of $85.28.
Wait, who is this?
This is Garbanzo from Vinyl Junkies, like I've said.
Do you even know who I am? Like, who is this?
Look, we've got your information down on the dock, but I'm not at liberty to divulge those informations.
Down at the dock. Is that like a song? Like, are you with Otis Redding? Or you just sitting by the bay?
Listen, sir.
Is this Vinyl Junkies in San Diego?
Yes.
Actually, I got a couple records from you guys.
Yes.
It's just Grateful Dead.
Yes.
Okay, so are you ready for the credit card?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a pen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have this unique credit card. It doesn't have numbers, actually. It just came out this year, and it's only letters. So it's F.
I have F. I've got U.
C,
Yep. C. K.
Y.
Y.
O,
Okay. O.
U.
Hey, wait a second. Fella, this isn't funny. This is highly unprofessional, and there is a surcharge of that to the tune of $24 additional.
For my card number, I can't control that.
For insubordinance.
The Grateful Dead.
Call Nick Coven.
No, don't.
He filled in for Strange Case for a minute.
We don't have. Let's not call him for.
No, he doesn't need to know.
Yeah, don't tell him it was us yet. Why are you?
I knew it was you, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't me.
Who was that? That was hilarious.
What up, Nick? My name is Jacob, and you are on the Sunburnt
You're on
Burnt
the fucking
Cast.
Sunburn, but you're the fucking first official prank call.
You are the first official prank call.
On the very first official Sunburn podcast.
Oh, dude, that was fire, wasn't that? You know what's crazy is I just ordered a record for like $85.
No way did I guess right. Let's go.
What the fuck?
That's why I was like, wait, but it wasn't even from Vinyl Junkies. It was from a different company. But yeah, you like my credit card number?
Dude, that
I
was
almost
awesome.
Lost it over here.
That was such a good bit. We're sorry to call so late, brother man, but we appreciate you being a good sport.
Yeah, we're just going through
And
contacts trying to find people that.
This is for our podcast, and if you have any of your personal projects you'd like to shout out, go for it right now.
You can follow me on Instagram, 818 Records. I have a record shop, so you can place your own $85 order and search me on Spotify, Nick Coven. Boom.
Dude, big shout out.
Check
to
out our boy Nick.
Coven,
Shout out.
Gnarly vinyl collector. Guy's the man. Thanks for your time.
You guys send me the link when this is out.
I will.
Yeah, we got you, bro. Thank you so much,
All
man.
right, thanks, dude.
All right, man.
All right, much love. Peace.
Now that felt warm and fuzzy.
See,
That was fun.
That was
a good
wholesome.
one.
That was fun.
These would be a lot better
Yeah.
if they weren't at midnight.
Maybe like 6 p.m.
6 p.m. 's a
7
good
p.m. when
one.
people are getting off work.
Drive time.
Drive time.
So what's
Okay.
our next segment?
Next segment. Well, this is our variety segment where we do any number of different segment ideas that we would like to audition out to you, the fans, and see what you like and what you want to hear and what you want to see on our fucking podcast, you motherfuckers. We can do show us your demos. We can show demos we've been working on. We can play a song and we have to guess the year or guess if it's old or new songs. We can play. It says, "What's that smell?" What's
Do you
what
want
is?
to play that?
I don't know.
I don't. Maybe.
Let's save it for Joe.
Okay, close my eyes. What's this smell?
Okay, ready?
All right. Okay.
Stay put.
Is it a kiss?
Wait.
Stay put.
Hold on.
Loud noises, loud
No,
noises,
no,
loud noises, loud noises.
Is he gonna put his butt cheeks up to my face?
It's got a splash.
Okay, ready?
Oh, Zano, did you put your fucking finger under your
What's
nuts?
that smell?
I smelled it, you dick.
It's... What is it?
You put your finger in the beer bottle.
No, smell again.
No, I'm not gonna
No.
smell it again. What is it?
Ew, dude, stick... It's your favorite thing.
That was not. Did you open the cap?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's been sitting there.
Since, like, the last time we were in here, which is, like, a month and a half ago, it smells so rancid.
It smells like plastic.
No,
It
it's...
smells
Oh, shit!
Oh no!
Thank you for watching Sunburnt.
Shit!
And that'll do
Thank
it.
you for watching the
debut
Burntcast.
episode.
We are debuting. We are doing funny
It's
stuff.
soaking in, Zane. Hurry!
We spilled on the ground. You know, fuck it. Let's just fucking get that on there too. Fucking get some of that on there. You know, fucking. That's it. Pull them out, Cherry. Wait, no, that's for episode 100.
Oh wait, never mind.
Who cares? Who's gonna know? It's not like it's recorded. I threw some Red Bull on it to diffuse it. Yeah.
No, he didn't. He's kidding. He's kidding.
That might work. You're always the sharp one, Jake.
We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Fuck.
You're such a dirty whore. Why'd you spill that beer up on my floor? You're such a dirty whore. Why did you spill that beer? Don't you spill some more? Oh, oh, I think I'm feeling it. Oh, oh,
Okay,
Feeling
that's
it
the
again.
chorus. And then the verse.
That was a horrible chorus. Balls on the floor. I haven't showed Zane this yet. My phone speakers suck. Zane wrote that. It's not stealing if we're in a band.
It's not stealing if you get it.
Which he does. We wrote this.
The original.
We need you to come in and do a riff here now. It's open for you. Yeah, you get the idea.
All right, let's wrap this up because I need to hear that on the fucking studio speakers. We're all on the
We
computer
gotta go.
right now.
As you can see, this is actually the perfect, most beautiful end of the first cast because this is what this fucking beautiful business is all about. Getting with people you love to be around, having a good fucking time, making some art, and sharing it with other
Doing
amazing
shit
people
you're
out there.
excited about.
And being all fucking burnt and scummy and fucked
Oh
up.
shit! Oh shit! Baby,
Watch the Sunburnt cast!
Oh.
Watch the Sunburnt cast! Watch the Sunburnt cast! Watch the fucking Sunburnt cast, goddamn! Watch the cast!
He's like the whole.
Jones!
Oh!
I think this just shows you that you never know what you're gonna get on the Burntcast.
Hi, Jarrett.
Somebody.
Ah!
All right. I need an adult.